Hello all, and good morning. As usual, happy Saturday, my friends. I'm Coach Ray. Thank you for joining me for today's class. As you'll notice, we are actually in my home. So we are going to be doing a class a little bit of a different style. So for today's class, I have one long and one short stick with me. All right. Thank you. Appreciate that. So what we're going to do here today, I'm going to go through a full body mobilization. We're going to work on opening up the T-spine and the hips. We're actually going to initially start off in a position, more or less in a world's greatest stretch type of position. And then from there, for the strength training, we are going to be doing a single leg glute bridge. And I'm actually going to use my couch to do that. We're going to be doing it from as if we have a chair or a bench or something for us to kind of drive our foot into. So we're going to get in a lot of fun drills here today. Hope everybody's ready to get started. Let's do it. So the first position or the first drill here is I'm actually going to take a pretty wide split here. And I'm sorry if I slip. My floor's kind of slippery. So what I'm going to do is I want to make sure my front foot is planted very, very well. Grab the ground with the toes there. My back foot, I'm on the ball and toes of that foot here. Now I have the stick in line with the toes of my front foot. What I'm going to do is I'm going to shift forward and I'm going to bring my right hand down to the floor here. Now you can adjust your left hand if you like, but what we're trying to do here is I'm going to push my shoulder into my right leg and I want to squeeze my left glute to lock that hip into extension, and then I'm going to drive the stick back behind me. So I'm getting rotation here. And then I'm going to bring the stick forward and then come across my body here. So I'm getting across my midline, and then I'm going to come back, place that right hand back down, and then I'm going to pull the stick back. So it's in line with my rib cage here, so I'm getting some thoracic rotation. And then I'm going to come up and rotate my hand across, so I'm getting that rotation still. I'm going to come back to the floor, place that right hand down, and then pull the stick back. Excellent. Then rotate the stick across and back to center. I'm going to ease off here. I'm going to turn forward for this one. So my left foot is going to be forward here. Right foot's going to be back. And again, the bottom of the stick is in line with the toes of my front foot here. I'm actually outside my hips. So from here, I'm going to shift forward and I'm going to place my left hand down. Again, we're driving that knee out. So use that shoulder, drive that knee out, and from here, I'm going to pull, stick behind, get more rotation. Now I'm going to come up and then rotate my hand across. Again, we're rotating both ways here. Good. Place that left hand back down, pull the stick across. Breathe. Excellent. Rotate across here. Make sure that right glute is tight. Place that hand back down. Pull. Excellent. Back up. Rotate a hand across. Excellent. Back up. Ease off. And relax here. Good. Now we're going to go into pelvic tilts. So from here, I'm going to start off with a square stance. So feet are going to be roughly about shoulder width here, maybe a slight bit wider. We are going to change positions as we go along here, so to a staggered position. So from here, I want to have my feet about shoulder width, toes are pointed forward. I'm going to squat down a little bit. Pelvis is stacked under the spine. I'm going to have my hands about roughly chest or shoulder height. Stick is angled in. I'm going to drive the stick down 30%. I'm going to do a posterior tilt. Squeeze the glutes. Drive those knees apart away from one another. Now I'm going to do an anterior tilt. Good. Posterior tilt. Squeeze the glutes. Drive the knees apart. Make sure you're grabbing the ground with your feet here. Anterior tilt. Posterior tilt. Excellent. Anterior tilt. Good. Back to center. This is where we switch stance. So now I'm going to go with a bit of a staggered stance. Right leg's gonna be forward. I'm still dropping down, keeping a nice, good, tall posture. Stick is still in line with the center of the body. Same thing, drive the stick down, posterior tilt. You're gonna feel that left glute squeeze quite a bit. You wanna make sure you're driving off that back glute, so drive. You're gonna do an anterior tilt. Excellent, posterior tilt. Good, make sure you squeeze. Anterior tilt. One more time, posterior tilt. Squeeze. Excellent, anterior tilt. Back to center, ease off. Let's go ahead and switch sides. So I'm gonna go left foot forward, right foot's back, again, still staggered. Switch your hands. Stick is still in line with the center of the body. Drive that stick down, posterior tilt. Feel that right glute really kick in. Anterior tilt. Good. Posterior tilt. Squeeze. Anterior tilt. One more time. Posterior tilt. Good. Anterior tilt. And ease off. Perfect. Now we're going to do here, I'm going to take a relatively wide stance. And I'm going to have the stick on the inside of my right foot here. Now, I'm going to place both hands on the stick and I'm going to lunge to my right. As I do that, I'm actually going to rotate across the body. So I'm going across this way, all right? So you should feel more of a stretch on that left adductor. So you can always adjust your hands as you go along here. So from here, lunge to my right, and then I'm going to rotate to my left. So I'm getting rotation, coming back up. Excellent. I'm going to move my hands down a little bit more. So from here, lunge to the right, drop that right shoulder down, get that rotation here. Should be feeling a little bit of a stretch in that left adductor. Come back up. Let's go one more time. Lunge to the right, rotate the stick across, back up. Excellent. Let's go ahead and switch sides. So I'm going to switch my hands as well. I'm going to keep my hands a little on the lower part of the stick. So same thing, lunge to the left, rotate that stick across. Good. Back up. Excellent. Let's go again. Lunge to the left, rotate the stick to the right. That right arm can be bent here. Back to center. Let's go one more time. Lunge to the left, rotate to the right. Try to get that left shoulder down to that left knee here. Excellent. Back up and ease off. Let's go ahead and wiggle those feet in. Now what we're going to do here, take the stick, I'm going to place it across my upper back, mostly really on my traps here. And what I want to do is I want to do lateral tilt or lateral flexion of the spine. I'm going to do this from a staggered position. So back foot, ball and toes are into the ground here. Front foot is firmly planted. Make sure that front leg is loaded here. So if I turn to the side, it's going to look like this. So from here, left leg is forward. Get that position. I'm going to first start off by laterally tilting to the left. So I'm trying to pull the left end of the stick in towards my left hip. You're going to come back up. Now I'm going to tilt to the right. So I'm going to pull the right end of the stick in towards my right hip. So you're going to feel a little bit of engagement from the obliques. Back up. Other side, you might feel a little bit of lats as well. Excellent. Breathe. Other side. Good. Other side. Really try to feel that right side stretching here. Now, laterally tilt to the right. Good. Back up. Ease off. Let's go ahead and switch legs here. And so I'll actually turn to the side because what I don't want you to do is find that you're shifting back and forth a lot. So from here, get that good split. Make sure you drop down, everything's loaded. Same thing, I'm gonna tilt to the right first. Excellent, back up. I'm gonna tilt to the left. Good, I'm gonna tilt to the right. Back up, tilt to the left. Good. I'm going to tilt to the right one more time. Pull that right hand in. Excellent. Now tilt to the left. Good. Back to center and ease off. Excellent. So now we're going to do a standing plank and we're going to add in rotation side to side. So the amount of tension we're going to generate here is actually going to be at 50%. As we do this, we do not want to rotate at the hips. We want to make sure we're rotating at the shoulders and the T-spine here. So we're effectively segmenting. So I'm going to take about roughly a shoulder width stance. Feet are going to be pointed forward. I don't want bending my knees. I want to keep my knees locked out, the glutes tight, just to lock everything in on the lower body. We don't want any shifting here. So the bottom of the stick is angled in towards me and allows my center line here. Hands are about shoulder height. I'm gonna first drive the stick down, 50%, keeping those arms straight. Now I'm gonna rotate the stick to the left, slowly and under control. Once I get to that max range, I'm gonna come back nice and slow, and then I'm gonna rotate to the other side, driving the stick down into the floor the entire time. Excellent. Come back to center, rotate to the left, back to center, now rotate to the right. As we're rotating here, we're really driving that stick down. Rotate to the left again. Another tip is as you're rotating, drive that left hip forward. You'll get a much more significant increase in tension. Rotate to the right. Good, back to center, and ease off. Perfect. So, now we're gonna do here, we're gonna get into warming up the shoulders a little bit more. We are gonna do a little bit of propellers. I know how much everybody likes those. So, I have the stick here. I'm gonna grip right in the middle, so I don't have a lot of room, so bear with me. I'm gonna go with a split stance for this. This is gonna make it a little bit harder. Now, as I do this, I'm actually going to keep that back knee hovering off the floor. So if you saw from the side, I'm going to be here. Okay? So this is just to add a little bit more of an element of a challenge. So we're going to get set in position. Left leg is forward, right leg is back. I want to grip at the middle of the stick. I'm going to really get about a 40-50% grip here, and I'm going to start propelling. You want to have the stick in line or at low shoulder height. We're going to propel side to side here. Good. You want to make sure you keep it under control. You don't just want to quickly spin the stick and lose that control. Good. If you're having a hard time keeping that elbow straight, place your other hand under for support. Gonna stand up, still propelling. Good, keep it going. I'm gonna move this to the side. I really hope I don't hit anything. Still propel. I'm gonna scoot over a little bit as I do this. Keep that shoulder up, step that right foot back again. Hold. Good. Back up. Bring that right hand forward. 3, 2, 1, and ease off. Excellent. Now we're going to go to the other side. We're starting off in that same position. Now it's on the opposite. Right leg is forward. Left leg is back. Stick is going to be in the left hand here. So Go ahead and get set in position. Drop that back knee down. Left hand straight out, in line with the shoulders or the level shoulder height. Grip the stick, start to rotate. Good. Keep rotating. Excellent. Keep that grip on the stick. Stand up. I'm going to move over. Stick comes out to the side. Really try not to hit this guinea pig cage we got here. Good. I'm going to step back a little bit. Now we're going to lunge that left foot back. Drop that knee down. Keep propelling. Excellent. Bring it back forward. Still propel. Stand up. 3, 2, 1, and ease off. Excellent. Good. Now let's get into the fun stuff, folks. So now we're going to use, well, a bench or a chair or a couch, whatever available to you. So this is where we get into that single leg bridge. This is going to be very, very taxing on the hamstring, and I want it to be that way specifically. So we're actually going to cue I want to cue you very specifically as we go along here. So I'm going to move the camera over a smidge here. Now I'm going to go to the floor, and I'm going to be set up right in front of the couch. Now the application of the stick here is great push-pull tension. So as I start off, I'm going to be pulling the stick apart, and when I'm coming down, I'm going to be compressing the stick as I drop my hips down. So I wanted you ideally to go with a single leg here, not 2 legs, but a single leg. So from here, I want to keep my foot on the couch. Ankle is dorsiflexed. So from this position, I'm going to have my left hip up. Arms are straight on the stick, and I'm going to pull the stick apart at 50% tension. Now the first cue after that is to drive that heel down into the couch. Now you should be feeling hamstring engagement here. We need to make sure we keep this left hip flexed. Now from here, I'm going to slowly bridge up, hold that top position, compress the stick, and then back down, ease off. So you should be feeling that right glute kick on quite a bit, but also that right hamstring. So we're getting that entire side to kick on. At least that's our posterior chain. So from here, pull apart, drive the heel down, bridge up. 3, 2, 1, compress the stick, back down, ease off. All right, let's go 3 more. Pull the stick apart, drive the heel down, bridge up, squeeze that glute, compress, back down, and ease off. 2 more here, folks. Pull apart, drive the heel down, bridge up. 3, 2, 1, compress, back down, ease off. We got 1 more here, then we're going to switch sides. Doing good. Pull the stick apart, drive the heel down, bridge up, squeeze. 3, 2, 1, compress, back down, ease off. So now we're going to switch over to the other side. The reason why we're going through push-pull or elongating and compressing the stick, we're just switching fascial lines here a little bit. That's all we're doing. So as we pull apart, we want to bring as much stabilization to that posterior side as we can. And when we're lowering, we want to make sure we keep control of that anterior line too. So we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to have my left foot on the couch here. Right hip is flexed. Same thing, pull the stick apart, drive the heel down, bridge up. 3, 2, 1, compress the stick, back down, ease off. Pull apart, drive the heel down, bridge, drive. 3, 2, 1, compress, back down, ease off. Also, you can actually play around with the distance you are, where your foot's out as we do this here. Pull the stick apart, drive the heel down, bridge up. 3, 2, 1, compress, back down, ease off. We got 2 more reps here, doing good. Pull apart, drive the heel down, bridge up. 3, 2, 1, compress, back down, ease off. One last time. Pull apart, drive the heel down, drive up. 3, 2, 1, compress, hips down, and ease off. Excellent. Good, good, good. So now, I'm actually still going to use a couch here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get into a side plank. I don't have a pad, which is fine. But this is the time where you want to grab a pad or something to have your elbow on. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to drive the stick into the floor with my right hand. Reason being, again, we're trying to create as much tension as we can, so this may actually add a little bit to the stabilization. So if you have a bench or a chair, this would be perfect. So since I actually have a couch, I'm going to bend the knee that's closest to the floor here. And so, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to be on my elbow and forearm on my left side. I'm starting on my left first. And I'm going to have the stick just about in line with my chest here. Now, keeping the angle dorsiflex, and I want that hip straight. I don't want it in front of my hip, and I don't want my foot behind my hip. I want it directly in line with my hip here. So from here, grip the stick roughly about to where your top position is going to be. And from here, drive that stick down 50%, keeping that the hip that's on the ground flex, or the left, or the leg at least, the knee, and then drive up, stabilize, hold that position. 3, 2, 1, back down, nice and slow, ease off. Good. Let's go a couple more repetitions here. So you should be feeling your adductors kick in as well as your obliques on your left side. So right adductor, left oblique. So we're getting that sling system. So drive the stick down 50%, drive that foot into the bench or chair, hold, 3, 2, 1, back down, nice and slow, ease off. Let's go one more time here, then we're gonna switch sides. Drive the stick down, drive the foot into the couch, lift, hold, 3, 2, 1, back down, ease off. I'm gonna switch sides here, so I'm gonna have to turn around, unfortunately, folks. Gonna get set up the same way. So arm straight. Drive that stick down 50%. Drive that foot down. Hip up. 3, 2, 1. Back down. Ease off. Let's go again. Drive the foot. Drive the stick down. Drive that foot, left foot towards the floor. Hip up. 2, 1. Ease off. Let's go one more time here, folks. Drive the stick down. Get that tension. Hip up. 3, 2, 1. Back down and ease off. Woo-wee. All right. Let's take a second here. I'm gonna switch sticks. I'm I'll at least switch over to the long stick for now. So with that one, we just want to make sure that we're keeping a nice, good, stable spine. You don't want your hips to dip below your shoulders or your foot. You want to try to keep it as level as you possibly can as we go through that drill there. Okay, so now we're going to get into working with a row type of variation. So if you have something to push the stick back against, that'd be perfect. So a corner of a wall or whatever you happen to have available to you. Now, I'm going to do a little bit of a makeshift here. So I'm using a corner of my couch, at least the bottom of it here. And what I'm going to do, so the stick's on my right side. I'm going to have my left leg forward here, and I'm going to have my right leg back. Now, I want to create a relatively big split, and I want to squeeze that back glute. So right now, my right glute is actually tight, all right? Just want to lock that lumbar into position, make sure we're not moving at the lumbar here. So I'm going to shift forward, going into that lunge position. I'm going to take my left hand on the stick, and I'm going to place it at the end. I'm going to take my right hand, and I'm going to place it right about in line with my mid thigh here, the front leg. What I'm going to do, I'm going to drive the stick back with both hands, and then I'm going to pull up subtly, or pull that right scapula back towards my left shoulder. 3, 2, 1. I'm going to ease off and relax. So the movement is very small, very subtle, but we're just getting that movement mostly from the scap. It's okay if the elbow bends a little bit to intensify that tension and contraction here. So get back in the same position. Right hand's about right where mid thigh is. Drive the stick back with both hands, about 70%. Pull that right shoulder scap back and pull up with the hand. 3, 2, 1. Ease off. Let's go one more time here. Sorry, a little sweaty. Drive forward. Whoops, make sure I'm in a stable position here. Drive the stick back with both hands. Pull up with the right. 3, 2, 1, and ease off. And now we're going to switch sides. So I'm going to switch angles. So it's going to be on the left side of my body. Really hope this one works. So from here, make sure I got the stick leveraged pretty well here. Left hand's at the end. Yeah, same thing. Make sure you're grabbing the ground with that front foot. Ball and soles of the back foot here. I'm going to take my right hand, grab the end. Left hand is right where mid thigh is. Shift forward. And then from here, drive stick back with both hands. Pull that left shoulder blade back. Up with the left hand. 3, 2, 1, and ease off. Come up. Excellent. We're going to do 2 more. So lunge forward, drive stick back with both hands. Pull up with the left. Remember, we're at 70%. 3, 2, 1, ease off. We're going to go one more time. Now, naturally, your shoulder blade is going to depress. That's okay. That's good. We want that for some engagement, or a lot of engagement, actually. Lean forward, drive stick back with both hands. Pull up with the left, pull that left shoulder back. Pull it close to the spine. 3, 2, 1, and ease off. And relax. Now we're going to get into the deep fascial stretching. And so the initial here is I want to focus on stretching out the chest on the arm line, and then we're actually going to stretch out the shoulders and traps and neck. So we're going to loosen up all those tissues that tend to get tight for most of us, right? So from here, I'm going to keep the long stick, and I'm going to take a roughly about hip to shoulder width stance. If you want to go wider, you are more than welcome to. So from here, I'm going to have the bottom of the stick in line with the toes of my feet. And so from here, left hand is going to be You can have it above forehead height. I'm gonna start there and then move my hand down a little bit lower. So starting from here, I'm going to hinge my hips back, dropping my right hand down towards the floor, bringing the stick in line with my rib cage here. So what you should feel is the chest, gonna feel the shoulder. 3, 2, 1, back up. Excellent. I'm gonna move my hand down a little lower. My hand sliding because it's sweaty. So from here, now we're gonna lightly drive the stick into the floor, hinge back, try to get that right hand to the floor, really reach. 3, 2, 1, back up, ease off. We're gonna switch sides here. So I'm not gonna spend too much time on this one. So setup is the same. So from here, get a good grip on the stick, hinge the hips back, go down towards the floor. Remember, keep that stick in line with your rib cage. 3, 2, 1. Back up. Nice and slow. We're going to lower that hand. Same thing. This time we're going to drive the stick down a little bit. So lightly push the stick into the floor. Now we're going to hinge, drive those hips back. Reach that left hand down towards the floor. Feel that stretch in the pec and shoulder area. 3, 2, 1, and back up. Ease off. Now I'm going to take the short stick, and now we're going to get into all the next tissues. We're going to get into the traps. So for this, you want to make sure that the stick is behind your back, hands or palms are facing away from your body. So you're going to end up being in a position like this. We're going to start here, but then what we're going to do is we're going to flip our hands around. All right. So starting with stick behind my back, I have my hands out wider than my hips here, and I want to make sure I keep my arms straight. So stance is about hip to shoulder width, toes are pointed forward, sorry about that. Arms are straight. I want to lightly pull the stick apart and then drive my shoulders down towards the floor. What this is going to do is going to set the shoulder blades down. From here, I'm going to pull my chin back like I'm trying to create a double chin, and then I'm going to tilt my right ear towards my right shoulder and drive that left side down even harder. Breathe. Back up to neutral. Excellent. Now tilt to the right. Drive that right shoulder down. Sorry, tilt your left ear to your left shoulder. Drive that right shoulder down. 3, 2, 1. Back to center. Keep pulling that chin back. Now I'm going to tilt my chin up towards the ceiling. Back down. Good. Ease off. Like I said, we're going to switch hands or switch our hand position. So now we're going to grab with our palms facing towards the front of our body. This puts our shoulders into external rotation. So now from here, thumbs facing out, pull the stick apart, drive the shoulders down so that cue doesn't go away. We're going to pull that chin back, and then we're going to tilt our chin down towards our collarbone. Feel a stretch on those posterior neck tissues. Good. Back up. Now, I'm going to turn to the side for this one because you're going to need to see this one. What we're going to do is, as we're pulling that chin back and tucking, we're going to round the thoracic spine. It's going to increase that stretch. So, pull the stick apart, drive the shoulders down, pull the chin back, create a double chin, tuck that chin down. Now flex the spine by pulling the shoulders forward. Good. Come up, out, Keep pulling that chin back. Now tilt the chin up. Try to exaggerate extension. Back down to neutral and ease off. Excellent. So the reason why I showed that, you can actually increase the stretch depending on your spinal position. That does make a difference, especially when you're stretching out the neck tissues. So always kind of be a little aware of that when you're actually going through this here. Now I'm going to take the long stick and we're going to get into a sagittal bow and arrow. All right. So with this, we want to make sure that those movements are actually coming from the shoulders. We're not just trying to create a ton of flex on the stick. So the movement is actually going to be relatively small. So I'm going to have my left leg forward and I'm going to have my right hand on the stick. My right leg is back. Now what we want to do here is we want to drop that back leg down. I'm going to have my right hand up high and I'm going to have my left hand on the stick here. Now what we're going to do a push-pull. So what that means is you're going to create a bow on the stick naturally, maybe a little bit, but we're pulling that right shoulder blade back and driving that left shoulder blade forward. Now we're going to get a little bit of rotation here. So we're going to floss in and out of this 10 times here. So we're going to ease off, pull the shoulders back. Good. Ease off, pull the right shoulder back, left shoulder forward. 3. Again. 4. Again, that movement's small, right? Again. 5. Again. 6. Engage. 7. Engage. 8. Engage. 9. One more time. Engage. 10. Ease off. Let's switch sides. So I'll show this one from the front here. So my right leg is forward, left leg is back. Have the stick out in front of the line of the toes. Also, the distance of the stick is going to vary on you. It's going to depend on what's going to be most comfortable for you, but what you can actually access the movement in. So I'm going to sink that back hip down, loading that front leg and the back leg. Left hand is up above my head. Right hand is on the stick here. We're going to do that same thing. We're going to activate. So from here, pull that left shoulder back, drive that right shoulder forward. There's 1. Let's go again. 2. Again. 3. Again. 4. Activate. 5. Activate. 6. Activate. 7. 3 more. Push. 8. Activate again. 9. One more time. Activate. 10. Ease off and relax. Good. So movement small, but you get movement out of the spine and the shoulder blades at the same time. So that's the gold on that one. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to get into a single arm hang, but we're going to flag out our inside leg. So this, to be honest, will probably work a little better if you leverage the bottom of the stick against something. So against the corner of a wall or something stable for you to press into. I'm not actually going to do that right now because I don't got the room. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the left leg forward. The right foot is going to be flagged out. So make sure both hands are going to be on the stick so you have the best balance and stability, and also you have some assistance there. Now, in terms of the split, or at least the initial starter position, I'm going to have the bottom of the stick right behind the heel of the front foot. So left leg is forward, right leg is back, right hand is on at the top of the stick here. I'm going to have my left hand on the stick and I'm going to initially start there. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take this right foot and kind of curtsy it behind. Now from here, I'm going to create a big split and I'm going to drop into that stretch here. Now, I'm really driving that right hip down towards the bottom of the stick, really elongating that lateral line, and then I'm going to ease off and relax. I'm going to switch sides. I'm just going to go back and forth here. We're not going to do it all on one side. So I'll actually show this from the side here. Left hand is up. Right hand is going to be on the stick. Get that alignment going. Again, curtsy that left foot back. If you can, be on the outside and drop that left hip down towards the bottom of the stick. 3, 2, 1, back up, ease off. We're gonna switch sides. So as we do this here, we're not just hanging, but we're actively reaching the entire time. So let's go again. Right foot forward, right hand's up, left foot, hands on the stick, curtsy, drop, breathe. 3, 2, 1, back up and ease off. We're gonna switch over to the other side. Left hand's up, both hands on the stick, create that support. Curtsy that left foot behind and drop. 3, 2, 1, back up and ease off. Let's take a second here. I'm gonna take the short stick. Again, I'm doing this because of the space I have available to me. So we're gonna get into some dislocates, and we're gonna finish off a little bit of kayaking with rotation. So I really wanna engage our rotation a lot as we get into the kayak. So start off with the dislocates first. I'm gonna grip the stick. I'm gonna go out wide, all right? We're gonna start off wide first, and then we can move our hands in. I'm gonna show this from the side so you can actually see what my spot looks like. We don't want any movement here. Everything stays locked in. So I'm gonna squeeze the glutes, keep control of my rib cage, drop it down a bit. I'm gonna grip on the outsides of the stick here. Thumbs are facing in towards me. I'm gonna lightly pull apart. And I'm gonna bring the stick up and over. Pulling apart. I'm gonna stop here. Take advantage of the stretch in the chest. And then come down, back up, and over. Pulling the stick apart the entire time. The amount of tension you're creating is only about 15%. I'm gonna wiggle my hands in a smidge closer. Same thing. Squeeze the glutes, ribs down, pull the stick apart, come up. Keep those arms straight. Stop here. Good. Down, up, and over. Excellent. Let's go one more time. If you like, wiggle those hands in a little closer here. Pull the stick apart. Keep the glutes tight, ribs down, hands up, all the way over. And ease off. Excellent. Now let's just finish off with a little bit of kayaking here. And again, we're really going to emphasize the rotational aspects of it. So I'm going to have my fingers on the ends of the stick here. Let's hope I don't hit this. I should be okay. Should be okay. So for me, I'm actually going to take a pretty wide, relatively wide stance. I'm going to kind of squat down a little more so I don't hit this fan here. I'm going to have my right hand up, start that way. And I'm going to drive that right hand through. As I do that, I'm going to rotate to my left. Left hand comes up and over. Now I'm going to rotate to my right. Again, really utilizing rotation as we go through this here. So we're loosening up the T-spine, as well as loosening up those shoulder blades and the glenohumeral joint. There we go. It's okay if the hips rotate a tiny bit, just don't want excessive rotation. Breathe. Speed is at the same as mine. You're not going any faster, not rushing. Take your time. Good. A few more seconds. 3, 2, 1, and ease off. Excellent. And that, my friends, concludes today's stick mobility class. Thank you for joining me for the class in my home. I hope everybody has a wonderful Saturday. Stay safe out there. Enjoy the weekend. Catch you on the next one.